All right, let's just dive right in. We're about to explore a strategy that's completely redefining how businesses use AI. Imagine an AI that doesn't just read words on a page, but can actually see, hear, and understand the world in a much more complete, well, human-like way. And that's the big promise we're going to unpack today, all based on this new approach from Anasup Consulting.
So I want to start with a question for you. Think about all the data your business is pulling in every single day. Are you really getting the whole story? Or is there a whole lot of crucial context, the kind of stuff you can't just cram into a spreadsheet that you're missing out on completely?
And well, this is exactly where that hidden story is. I mean, just look at this chart. It's kind of wild. A whopping 80% of modern business data isn't text. Nope, it's images, it's audio, it's video. We're talking about a massive, untapped goldmine of insight that most companies just aren't touching.
And that, right there, is the big challenge we're facing today. All of that incredibly rich, valuable info, it's pretty much locked away in a vault. And your traditional AI models, yeah, they're powerful for sure, but they just don't have the key.
Okay, this analogy really hits the nail on the head. Imagine trying to figure out what really happened in a super important meeting just by reading the transcript. Yeah, you'd know what words were said, but what about everything else? You'd miss the sarcasm in someone's tone, the nervous way they were fidgeting, the critical chart on the screen they were pointing to. You'd miss the actual meaning behind the words. And honestly, that's the limited world most AI is still stuck in.
So the big question is, how do we fix this, right? How do we give our AI eyes and ears? Well, the answer has a name, and it's called multimodal AI.
So what is it? Put simply, multimodal AI is built to understand the world a lot more like you and I do. It's not just reading the text, it's watching the video, it's listening to the audio, and crucially, it's understanding how all those pieces connect and influence each other, all at once.
And look, the difference here is just it's night and day. Your standard single-mode AI, it analyzes what was said. But multimodal AI, it gets the whole story. It analyzes what was said, how it was said, and all the visual stuff happening around it. It really is the difference between just reading the meeting notes and actually being in the room when it all went down.
Okay, so this technology is obviously super powerful, but you can't just flip a switch. You need a solid plan, and that's where Anasup Consulting comes in. They've built their entire strategy on 3 core pillars that are designed to make this reality for pretty much any organization.
Pillar number 1 is the foundation, and I mean that literally. It's all about having a unified data architecture. Look, before you can get to the cool, intelligent AI stuff, you've got to get all your information under one roof. You need one single home for every last piece of data.
So the first big step, and this is absolutely crucial, is to break down all those data silos. You know what I'm talking about. That means pulling in everything, text, audio, video, and putting it all in one central spot. This gives you a single source of truth that's organized, secure, and totally ready for the AI to work its magic. And trust me, you can't take shortcuts here.
All right, once your data house is in order, we can move on to pillar 2. And this is the fun part. It's the brains of the whole operation. Now, we're not talking about some single giant AI that does everything. The real strategy here is to fuse together a whole team of specialized models that collaborate.
The best way to think about it is like an expert committee, right? You've got one AI model that's a genius with language. You've got another that's incredible at recognizing things in pictures, and maybe a third that can pick up on the emotion in someone's voice. By fusing all their insights together, you create this single, super smart intelligence that sees the bigger picture. And the best part? It just keeps learning and getting better over time.
And that brings us to pillar 3, the scalable application layer. Because let's be honest, all this amazing intelligence doesn't mean a thing if your team can't actually use it. This last pillar is all about turning those deep insights into practical tools people can use every single day.
This is really where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about building easy-to-use dashboards that make all this complex data really simple to understand. And even better, integrating these insights right into the workflows your teams are already using. The goal here isn't just to have cool tech for the sake of it. It's about driving real, measurable business outcomes that actually affect the bottom line.
So that's the strategy in a nutshell. Data, models, and applications. But what does this look like in the real world? Let's talk about some actual examples of how this whole thing comes to life.
I mean, just look at the massive jump in what you can do. For customer service, instead of just reading chat logs, you're now analyzing the tone of voice on a call to get how a customer really feels. For marketing, forget basic A/B tests. Now you can find the exact moment in a video ad that gets the biggest emotional reaction. And supply chain? You can literally use drones to visually check your inventory instead of relying on text logs. Each one of these is a complete game changer.
So yeah, the potential is absolutely huge, which brings us to the next big question. How do you actually get there? As you can probably guess, this isn't something you just turn on overnight. It's a journey.
And it's a journey that's been mapped out into 3 clear phases. Phase 1, you guessed it, is all about getting that data foundation right. Then, Phase 2 is where you prove the concept. You run some pilot programs in key areas to show just how valuable this is. And finally, Phase 3 is when you go big, the full-scale rollout across the entire company. It's a step-by-step proven roadmap.
And this quote, I think, really gets to the heart of the whole thing. The goal here isn't just to analyze more data. That's not it. It's about a fundamental shift. It's about getting a much deeper and, more human-like understanding of your business, of your customers, of everything. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Right now, your AI is basically working with one hand tied behind its back. It's half blind. Just take a second and imagine what becomes possible when it can finally see and hear the whole picture. What new doors open up? What hidden risks could you spot? What game-changing insights are just sitting there waiting for you to discover them?